Namaste, Hamisha खुश रहो बिटिया. My name is JVN Manisha Singh. Today I am teaching you objectives and panel selection of sensory evaluation. In our previous class, I discussed all about the what is sensory evaluation and its pros and cons. Then now let's start the topic objectives of sensory evaluation. Different components which form a foundation for an effective sensory evaluation. Program are approved, goals and objectives, well-defined program strategy, professional staff, suitable test facilities and qualified test subject. The objectives of sensory evaluation are as under. First of all, to study the sensory evaluation of the dairy product, not only dairy product, but all about the food products for use of research, to provide useful and timely information and recommendation about the sensory evaluation of the food products, then to develop methods and procedure relating sensory and analytical information for use in research, quality control and quality assurance, to demonstrate the methods used for sensory evaluation of food products, and to describe correct procedures for sensory evaluation of food products, and to maintain awareness of new product development in product evaluation and their application, and to find out most cost effective and efficient method to obtain most sensory information. Then sensory attributes of food products. Food products are developed, produced and marketed to appeal to the consumer who is becoming more and more demanding about the quality. The perception of food quality is changing rapidly, which highlights the need for food producers to be innovative as a way to survive. The sensory attributes of food products can be either intrinsic or extrinsic. Intrinsic attributes are always related to the physical aspects of the food product, and extrinsic attributes become more important when products are very similar in their appearance. The intrinsic and extrinsic cues are characterized and integrated by the consumers to establish the quality attributes of a food product. Then sensory attributes of a food product, these are the intrinsic and the extrinsic attributes. Intrinsic one are appearance, color, shape, size, structure, aroma, and taste. And extrinsic factors are the price, brand name, and familiarity. For example, for noodles, we always prefer Maggi rather than Ippy noodles and Szechuan noodles. Then label, packaging design. If the label is attractive, we are basically attract towards the attractive labels. Then advertisement, nutritional information and production information like environment and organic. Then origin, store name and convenience. Then panel selection. Sensory evaluation of products are required to provide information in relation to products improvement, quality maintenance, new product development, and marketing analysis. In general, following three purposes are suitable for lab panels. Highly trained experts are select qualified judges and study human perception of the food attributes. Correlate sensory with chemical and physical measurement. Study processing effects. Then maintain quality, evaluate raw materials, establish storage stability or reduce cost. Then for large consumer groups, following purposes are most suitable: evaluate quality, determine consumer preference. Then lab panels are of the following types: those which determine simple differences between the treated samples and those which determine directional differences. Then difference tests is single stimulus, paired stimuli, duo trio test, triangle and multi-sample tests. Rank order and other methods are scoring, hedonic rating, acceptance or preference test, dilution test, threshold test, etc. Then panel selection and testing environments are analysis of sensory properties of foods involves the use of the human subjects in the lab environment. The sensitivity and reproducibility of the judge influences the validity of results. The environment under which the data has been obtained also influences the result. Panel selection. By selecting the most stable and sensitivity members and training them, one might expect to obtain a small but efficient panel. Selection is important since individuals differ in sensitivity, interest, motivation, and ability to judge difference. Discriminating skills may not be general. A good wine taste may not be a good judge of chocolate. Seldom is judged equally proficient in tasting all qualities and all flavors of foods. The methods of selection include a preliminary training period designed to acquaint the tasters with the quality factor involved in the product to be tested. Then in its screening procedure for selection of panel members, following points are considered. First of all, discriminating difference between solutions or substances of known chemical composition. Then ability to recognize flavors and odors. Then performance in comparison with other panel members, or ability to discriminate different samples to be used later in the test. Then approach for screening. Use the test materials, the same products which will be tested later. Then prepare samples with variations that are likely to be encountered later. Adjust the deficiencies so that most will be able to discriminate, but some will fail. Use scorecard similar to the ones that will be used later. Start with a large number of candidates with simple selection test. Screen on the basis of relative achievement, continuing until top ranking group of the desired size is reliably selected. Reject at each stage those that are not reliable but select more than actually needed. Then a person with previous experience might utilize some of the skills he has developed. He may be able to note and detect differences which are not detected by inexperienced judges. He can often describe the sensory impressions more fully and usually has a better understanding of the terminology employed. Then we perform sensitivity test. For general panel selection, the candidates can be eliminated on the basis of lack of sensitivity to the senses attributes because of poor memory, slow recovery from stimulation, and failure to understand the test. Sensitivity to taste or odor appears to be only one of the factors influencing discrimination. Factors influencing sensitivity are the most important factors which influencing in successful judging are interest, motivation, knowledge, comparison of results, adjustment to the test, situation, memory, etc. The panel member should be given as much information as possible on the purpose and need of investigation. However, when this information might influence his judgment, it should be withheld. A reward system for maintaining interest is frequently recommended. This may take the form of special pay, time off, special privileges, providing refreshments after panel sessions, etc. Then panel size. The number of judges needed for will vary accordingly to the variabilities of the individual and of the product. Institute of Food Technologists in USA recommends 3 to 10 for the trained panel, 8 to 25 for the semi-trained panels, and 80 above for untrained members in the panel. Then training. Training should be distinguished from experience. Training steps which may be taken deliberately to increase the effectiveness and the rate at which the individual assimilates new knowledge or new techniques. Training is directed towards getting panel members to disregard their personal preferences. It might also be directed to secure recognition of small differences. One of the important aims of training is to obtain homogeneity of response. Sensitivity to basic tastes and odors increases due to training. It helps judges learn to compare flavors and flavor strengths in spite of time lag between samples. Then environment. Control of environment factors and samples is universally recognized for sensory evaluation of foods. The lab should be air conditioned, well lighted, comfortable seating, and free from distractions, smoking, and cosmetic color odors. Judges should be provided comfortable sitting, a separate receptacle for expectoration, water for oral rinsing, and adequate space for the samples and scorecard. The facilities should be thoroughly cleaned after the judge leaves and the new comes. Then time of the day, tests should be arranged when the judges feel their best. Generally, a time of 10 to 15 to 11:45 a.m. and 3 p.m. have been recommended. No significant differences has been observed when the tests are conducted at 11 a.m. or 3 p.m. Then sample factors. Dairy products have very milk delicate flavors. Then therefore, if interest can be maintained, panel members can evaluate rather large number of samples per session, particularly with bland or mild flavored food. Normally, the number of samples should be restricted to 6. Then masking. Masking is required for international minimizing of color, taste, or odor properties so that differences between samples can be evaluated with less interference from the variable which has been minimized. That is, use colored containers colored light, etc. Then preparation. The normal procedure is to test the dairy product under conditions approximately the same as found under normal consumption. Bread should be dry, butter solid, vegetables whole, etc. Within a set of samples, the standard should also be presented as unknown. Then serving procedures. The samples presented must be representative of lot and exactly alike. The factors which are to be considered include visual appearance, sample size, temperature, utensils, pouring, coding order, instructions and rinsing. Appearance is the sample should be the same in form, consistency, color and appearance. Then sample size. The volume or quantity of sample should be provided sufficient to the taste with confidence. Sufficient sample to give a feeling of mouthfulness is recommended, 30 to 20, 50 ml for 2 mouthfuls. Temperature. Uniformity of temperature is necessary. Milk should be served at 15 degrees Celsius. Cheese should be at 15.5 degrees Celsius. Butter should be served at 7 degrees Celsius to 13 degrees Celsius. And ice creams minus 15 to minus 12.5 degrees Celsius. Utensils. All samples should be served in the containers of the same size, shape and color. The utensil should not impart a taste or odor to the samples. Samples should be placed in the container in a uniform aesthetic manner. Then coding. All samples presented should be coded to avoid giving information to the panel. 3-digit random numbers are ideal. Order of serving. Usually the first sample is assumed to be standard against which the rest of the samples are rated. Ideally, strong flavored samples should be served last as they frequently over-sensitize the taste buds and recovery is not quick. Then instructions to the judges. It may not be necessary to give instructions to a trained panel, but this is not true for all the panels. The best practice seems to be to allow the judges to use his preferred method, but the same technique should be used by him. Hope you all are satisfied this session. This session is co-powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapit Women's University, Jaipur. If you have any query, please mention it in a comment box. I will resolve them whenever we have a live session. Thank you so much for watching this video.